So the story AJ has is pretty cool because it might be the first time in history it's ever happened.
Yep.
But it's definitely the first time in recorded
Visually.
visually. And I say recorded, I don't mean recorded history. I mean like someone recorded it. Is a tortoise making a kill.
Yep. And they're herbivores. Yeah, so according to ScienceAlert.com, some biologists and the equivalent of DNRs in England, whatever they are.
Okay. Game and
some
fish.
university biologists got on film this female tortoise deliberately attacking this flightless bird. And the coming joke is it's the slowest kill ever. I mean, the turtle's just slowly creeping in, and the bird can't fly, and it extends his neck out and chomps away and eventually kills the bird.
You're probably seeing the video right now or about to.
You have the video right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and play it for him.
Let's do this.
Okay. The bird's got somewhere to go. Like, he doesn't have to stay there.
And apparently, like, as they're watching this, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this has never happened!" And everybody's freaking out, trying to maintain their excitement because
they're like cheering for the
this
tortoise.
doesn't happen. They're herbivores. Why are they?
He's moving slow. The bird is like.
Why isn't the bird just?
He almost seems a little protective.
The
over
bird
his
will not
stump.
fly away.
I don't know what kind of bird that is. Maybe it's like a mating stump, like grouse have, like where they're not giving up their stump.
It's oh, okay.
Yeah, is he trying to fight? Oh, did he just snatch?
Oh, he got
up?
him
He got it.
right in the head.
Yep.
What a dumb. You know what? I don't feel bad for that bird. There's a lot of ways to get away from a tortoise, and he did a bad
You're
job.
born with wings.
Yeah.
Do you ever, when you watch a nature show, do you cheer for the lion? Do you cheer for the gazelle? What's your?
Oh, I always cheer for the bad guys. Just like you taught me that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just feels better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not known to be aggressive like that. I mean, they just eat grubs. People, there's been studies similar to our arson raptor episode where there's stories of people seeing things but never actually getting it on camera. So it's like we don't know if the tortoise sat on the bird or if it like scared it to death, things like that. This is the first visual.
I might slow-mo that video and zoom in and try and make sure there's no fishing line in that bird's foot or something.
like it's tied down.
Like they set him up. They're like, wow.
I mean, yeah, it's ScienceAlert.com. Sounds like a who knows.
I mean, there's evidence of it.
Yeah,
it's there.
story.
It's real. It looks like it's in a zoo, though.
It's.
Is it being filmed through glass?
I don't think so.
Interesting. I don't know.
There's an Instagram page that Joe Rogan talks about all the time, and then like it's gotten a lot of publicity because of that. And it's like nature
Nature is metal.
and it's
Nice.
like killing nature. So it was a hawk killing a duck or whatever it might be, and it was just showing those things, and the outcry of the terribleness of the reality of what it is now they're like getting banned on a lot of things, and there's like a bunch of talk about it, like people saying
Oh, you can't talk about how nature really is.
Right. You have to like bury your head and act like it's not real.
Which is
Metal.
Yeah, it's. I've followed that page for a while now, and some of the stuff on there, it's really, really, really hard to watch. Some of the things that are on there, but the more you look at it and recognize it for what it is, you just understand that that's reality. And what we've done is just separated ourselves so far that we just we can't bear the sight.
Yeah.
But you know what we can do? We can go to other countries and blow them up, or they can come here and blow us up, and everyone's like, well, that's just the way it is.
That's war.
But
Not animals.
Nope.
And not even two animals that live together and have to survive. That's not okay.
It's funny when some people say like all animals are compassionate, and it's like,
There's like name one besides Emu, and he's
Although-
not that compassionate. Don't feed him for a day. We'll see how he acts. Right, Emu?
Sometimes you hear the stories about like the cheetah that raised the impala fawn or whatever that is, and I don't know what that's about. It's a little weird.
That happens, sure.
It happens, but is it the thing that cats do where they like to toy with their food?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it that? It's like, oh, well, you're here hanging out, and you're a fun thing, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
This occurred off an island off of England, so an island off an island.
Okay.
Yeah, it is interesting, but yeah, it's rather silly when you see people getting like really upset about nature being nature. When I grew up, that's all I watched National Geographic, Discovery Channel, PBS, any nature show I could get my hands on. I remember sitting in my room as a kid. I had this big green box. I wonder where it is now. I bet the facts are all outdated and wrong. But
it got flooded.
I'm sure it did from the flood.
The great big book of everything.
No, it was flashcards. And on each flashcard was a picture of an animal, and on the back was like a bunch of cool facts about it, where they live and everything like that. I would sit in my room and read those nonstop, and I gained like a lot of weird information, like the biggest sea turtle breeding grounds, like when the event takes place, it's called the Aribata, and I know all about it, and I know how the turtles get there, I know how they lay their eggs, I know how many. Then when they hatch. Like dealing with all the predators, it's like a mad dash that there's little bodies are hauling butt as
what's it? The
fast
Aribata? Sounds like a tech company or something.
And they're like, the turtles once they hatch, the sea turtles, it's like a death mission to try and get to the water, because all the seagulls and all the different animals there just to pick them apart, and like the very few that make it, even less than get past the tide keeps pushing them back, and it's like that workout like sets them up for their life. And then they go into the ocean, and then they live their little lives, and then a lot of them get eaten there, and very few make it to their adulthood. But when they all come, it's called the Aribata. Yeah.
When you were,
but like those facts is like that's what I read as a kid. So I've been around it my whole life. So it's like rather silly for me to have people be like, "Oh, like you have to act like nature isn't nature and everything's compassion." It's like you lay next to is your cat in your house compassionate? No.
Yeah, when the eagle comes takes your small dog, that's
right.
Doesn't care.
When you were saying something about rooting for the bad guy, and then brought it to Nature's Medal, they had just recently posted something about, I think it was a water buffalo and a lion had gotten caught up in each other for about, like I think an hour and a half, and the water buffalo ended up coming out on top, and the lion died, and that was just a situation where. You don't typically root for the lion, because the lion is always looked at like he's the predator. Dog. Yeah, he's top dog there. But you felt pretty bad for him. Like he was just doing what he felt like he had to do, and just seeing the pictures of him just laying there like in defeat, like there was nothing he could do.
Wow.
He just died from his injuries. He just knew it was over.
One of the sadder pictures or videos I've ever seen in my obsession with outdoor video content is a malnourished polar bear. Like, it's like, so what happened,
hungry.
Right, is as in the summer, as the ice starts to melt and stuff like that, their hunting grounds, then it becomes like harder for them to hunt seals. So once the ice starts to break up and stuff like that, and they get to desperation mode, like if I don't get a seal in the next couple days, I'm not going to make it. And then they get malnourished, and then they slow down, and then they just look terrible. They look weird when they're malnourished, and it's like, man, I hope he gets a seal. I hope he gets a sea lion. And it's like, well, do you feel bad for the sea lion?
Right.
And it's like, when you get right down to it, every single living being consumes other living beings in order to gain energy to be able to survive. Whether you're eating a living plant or you're eating a living animal, you're eating and consuming energy. And to act like that's not the case is, obviously what's wrong.
Asinine.
Yeah.
And it all comes from the sun.
Yep.
Which is pretty interesting.
That's super cool.
Photosynthesis. Another word you probably don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know it from SpongeBob.